Hello everybody. First things first, if you are going to follow along and do some cooking with me, make sure your oven is on to 350 if you're going to do the spiced nuts, because that's what we're going to start with. Second, get yourself a drink. Today I am drinking chai mas, which is a lovely French blanc from the Mas family. So, cheers, and let's see how this goes. I am extra sparkly, Kelly. I decided to be fully festive, so I'm gonna get my wine out of the way. So, spiced nuts. I love spiced nuts. It is a staple for us during the holiday season and for our parties and whatever, and I have people that actually request spiced nuts. So, this recipe calls for 3 1/4 cups of nuts. It's saying specifically almonds, pecans, walnuts, but really it's your favorite one, nuts. So what I have in here is I have the pumpkin seeds, I have a cup of pecans, I have a cup of walnuts, and then I have a cup of mixed nuts. Hey girls. All right, so that's your choice. If you don't like hazelnuts, if you don't like Brazil nuts, if you don't, whatever nuts you like, put more of what you like. And to make this dish more cost effective, I would do one really good big nut like a pecan, because they're really good. And then I would do a cup of peanuts and make sure they're the unsalted ones. And then do a cup of mixed, maybe almonds and walnuts or something like that. And you can stretch it a little farther for less money. Okay, 2 tablespoons full of olive oil and 1/3 of a cup of maple syrup. Make sure you use good maple syrup. Hey, Dora, hola. Okay, I need a little bit of a fork here. So you've got your olive oil and your maple syrup, and then all your dry spices here. So we have kosher salt, hot smoked Spanish paprika. If you can find it, it's much tastier than just the regular paprika. It's kind of like the difference between chili powder and ancho chili powder. It has a depth of smokiness that is really delicious. Red chili flakes and rosemary. I'm using dried rosemary, and I used a mortar and pestle to break it up a little bit because you don't want the long things of rosemary. Spices, dump it into your maple syrup. This is a good recipe. Okay, get them all mixed together. Okay. Your bowl of nuts, dump this in. I love to cook, but I love recipes that aren't super fussy. Not that I don't make fussy recipes, because I do, and any of my friends can vouch for that. I need another spatula, this will work. And make sure you get it all. You don't want to miss any of it because there's not a ton of liquid going into this. Okay. Then you just mix them up. Like, it's very simple. If you are not a rosemary fan, you can choose another dried seasoning that you like. Rosemary is particularly good. You can use cinnamon if you're a cinnamon fan. Like, there's no limit to how you can change this. It's basically the flavors that you like. The only constants are the salt, the olive oil, and the maple syrup. The rest of it you can kind of play with, but this is a good base. I also prefer these because there's lots of recipes that use an egg white to coat the nuts, and it makes that weird crispy coating, so I'm not a fan. All right, I have a big, like, hotel pan. If you don't have one and you have room in a cupboard, go and buy one. Yes, Kelly, the cantaloupe caviar, that was ridiculous. The reason being, you can spread things out farther on these pans. You could bake more cookies at once. They're just more convenient. And parchment paper. If you are not currently using parchment paper, get some, because it saves so much cleanup and so much time between baking different things, and you're not ruining your pans. So you want a single layer. Okay, kind of smash them out in a single layer. Okay. I didn't even need a hotel pan for this because it's not a huge batch, but it's enough. All right. It's not fussy. In the oven. Okay, so this needs to bake for 20 to 25 minutes. I'm gonna put the timer on the oven for 10 so that I can stir it and I won't forget to do it. Otherwise, I will forget. Okay, dish one done. I'm gonna do this really quick. So, you can see our nuts here. Take 2 forks, because this is a bit of a candied coating, and you wanna make sure when it's cooling that everything is separated, or you end up with a big clump of nuts. So just, you see we've got a bunch of sauce right here. Just separate everything out. Just give everybody space so you don't have a big clump. I mean, you can break them up, but we have time when they're hot to do it without breaking the nuts, so don't break your nuts. Oh, I amuse myself so much. Okay, those are gonna cool. Just gonna sit here on the stove and cool down. That's why you use parchment paper. It's amazing. Okay. All right. Let me do this. Can you guys see it?